Thank you for tuning in to Pages from My Book Recap. I have special guest Miss Eboni Freeman here with me. She is a fashion and inspiration blogger as well as a natural hairstylist. Thank you for coming, Eboni.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
So, let's just dive right in. Pages from My Book, Girl You Got This blog was my very first blog, and I just want to know what you thought about it.
I absolutely loved the blog, the first blog. It was really transparent. It was open. It was honest. So I felt like I could relate to what you were going through, and it made me want to read it more. So yeah, I just really enjoyed and like appreciate your transparency. A lot of people aren't really it's hard to be transparent.
Right.
It's hard to talk about things that you really went through.
Right.
So I just really appreciate your transparency through the blog, and I can't wait for the next one.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You were actually one of the persons that really pushed me to produce this blog. I was asking God exactly what my purpose was and what it was that I needed to do in this earth. And I remember just writing it down in my journal, and about 2 days later, you ended up writing me in my DM and was like the exact same thing that God had spoke to me about. So I really, really appreciate you. And just to catapult back to what you were saying about the blog, Girl You Got This, even though it was so much about my situation and a divorce and being a parent, a single parent, I knew that the title Girl You Got This was a perspective move.
Yeah.
It was the ability to change the narrative of how I seen my situation, and I knew that anybody could really relate to it no matter what the situation was. So tell me about a time that you felt like, girl, I got this.
I have a lot of times where I felt like, girl, you got this. But I can speak from a time, it was a couple of years before I moved back home. I was staying in Florida, and it just got really bad. Like, I was homeless for about 6 months. I was living in and out of my car and a hotel, and I still was like, but you can get through this. Like, you know, listening to other people's what really got me is going to church, of course, but listening to other people's testimonies.
Wow.
Like, they went through certain things. I know, like, if they got through it, I can get through it too.
Wow.
So it was during that moment where I was like, girl, you got this.
Yes.
Like, you got this. So I ended up like losing everything, my home, my car, everything, and I ended up having to come back home. And that was really, I didn't want to, but that was really a blessing in disguise. So it's like, you know, that perseverance, it just really helped in the long run, and now this is where I am. Yeah, so
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thanks,
I'm
girl.
so proud of you. One thing about Girl You Got This, it was a very tough time, just like you spoke of how you felt like, girl, you got this regardless of what you saw around you. I too lost my home, I lost my car, my job, dropped out of school all in 1 year. And that was tough. And it was very hard to say, girl, you got this. And a lot of times I didn't say that. And one thing that I can relate to you on is that you said that you were able to give your testimony or seeing other people's testimonies, and it helped you along the way. I would personally Google people who were going through similar things that I was going through just to see if they were how did they overcome. And that's one good thing about why I began this blog, was because I feel like if I tell my testimony, someone else would be able to get over and overcome what they're going through. You know? So I'm excited for you, and I hope that you continue to blog and you continue to be an inspiration to people, because your testimony will will catapult other people to get to the next level as well as I will.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, like, it's all about like just spreading what we've gone through.
Right.
Because somebody, just like you said, you Google to see if other people are going through the same things you are going through. Everybody didn't live not the same life, but similar things. So it's like, if they never know, like, oh, Rickquel went through this, or they think they by themselves, they think they alone.
Right.
So it's all about just spreading, you know, our testimony. And one thing about your blog that just really, like, got to me was when you said, you know, when you asked the question, and quote me if I'm wrong, but you were like, God will tell you that something isn't right, but yet we still kind of continue to do it. I know that's not the exact words, but just going back, that's just what it is. Like, and that's what we have to do to learn, you know, not to do, not to go through what we've gone through. So that was one of the things that just made me like kind of perk up and say, you know what, God, I did do something wrong in there. You know, God did tell me not to do this, and I still did what I wanted to do.
How many of us do that? We all do that.
Yeah.
He tells us one thing and we do the opposite, and then we're asking him to kind of come in and clean it up.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And the first step to really acknowledging that and getting over that is taking accountability.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
That is the biggest thing.
Yeah. Sure.
Saying, hey, I messed up. I did the wrong thing. You told me to go left, and I went right. Or I went right and you know, vice versa. Mm-hmm. So it's very good that you said that as well. And I just want you guys to take away from that. Take accountability. Take accountability. If he tell you to go one way, you go that way. Because at the end of the day, you'll end up having to go back the other way either way.
Yeah.
So, Eboni, I just want to thank you again for coming. Thank you for recapping Girl, You Got This. And I want all you guys to know that, girl, you got this. See y'all later.